do. All right, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, folks. It's me, the ISFP, with another vlog chat for you. Okay. I've been having a lot of technical issues lately because Satan has been working against me lately. I've been trying to do a demo. I was working on some demo songs that someone wanted me to sing, and my microphone would be distorted or wouldn't record correctly. I noticed whenever we have something important, that's when the enemy always works against me. And I've been working on I got a new aquarium I'm trying to set up. I want to do aquascaping, which is so exciting, where you take, plants and rocks and try to make it look like a real ecosystem or aquascape. It's sort of an art form, and I've never had luck with fish. I've always had, my fish don't live more than a couple of years. I do much better with birds, but birds breathe oxygen like we do, so... Anyway, the topic du jour is Myers-Briggs and Christianity. And first and foremost, I am a Christian over Myers-Briggs. I don't say even though I say I'm me, the ISFP, that's really a colloquialism. It's not really, it's sort of an acronym. It's because I'm interested in Myers-Briggs, but I was typed as an ISFP. Now, before I thought I was an INFP, and I've explained before that INFPs and ISFPs are very similar in many ways, but there's also very different. And I didn't understand why. If I really am an INFP, how come my cognitive functions don't quite seem to line up, even though there's some stuff there that makes sense. So I was typed officially as ISFP. It was a long journey, long story. I'll do that later, but anyway, the topic du jour is, does Myers-Briggs conflict with Christianity? Now, the short answer is no. But the long answer, and I'll get into it, is that Myers-Briggs is a typing system. It's trying to learn how people think and behave. So what I notice is there a lot of overlap between New Age and Myers-Briggs. That doesn't mean that Myers-Briggs is New Age. It means that a lot of people somehow in the New Age area, into astrology and zodiac signs and that sort of thing, migrate over to Myers-Briggs. And there are some Christians who use it as well. But by the way, so psychology as a whole does not conflict with biblical truth. In fact, if anything, psychology is backed up by the Bible and vice versa. What is psychology? It's a study of human behavior. So the Bible really deals in human behavior and why we're all messed up, right? So if you look at the Bible, there are many characters in the Bible that have different personalities. And obviously, God gave us different personalities. We're all different, but we're all uniquely different. So the problem with Myers-Briggs is that it can lump some people in to a type. And some people feel that if they feel like they must conform to that type, they have to understand that Myers-Briggs is not, you're not going to be 100% anything. You're going to have a style of thinking that's more in line with certain types. And by the way, there's also shadow functions and unhealthy versions of things. So it's very complex. It's not a black and white system. But the problem with Myers-Briggs, as I noticed, is that people have made it into a religion, and it takes priority over over our faith. Now, it should never do that. But as Christians, Myers-Briggs does not conflict with our faith. It doesn't. Now, the only problem I can see is if you make Myers-Briggs too important in your life, which would be idolatry. So idolatry can be anything, though. You can make the Bible an idol. So with Myers-Briggs, you learn what your personality is, and what we discover with Myers-Briggs, it was used years ago in the business setting, in the business world, to see how different types of people would get along in business. And so what is Myers-Briggs? And a lot of people know it's based on Carl Jung. Carl Jung had the theory of personality with the 8 cognitive functions. And apparently we have 4 dominant functions that we use, our 4th being our weakest dominant. And then we go into the subconscious functions. Now, I am not an expert on Jungian theory, but that is why these two ladies, Isabella Briggs and something else, Myers, I think they're a mother-daughter's team. They developed a system based on Carl Jung's theory, and it's not 100%. It's not an exact science, but it's sort of a tool that you can say, okay, we can use these letters so we can break down people into the different cognitive functions, how they think and behave. So the letters system of Myers-Briggs is really the code. It's sort of like having a label, like you're labeling something so you can file the subgenre underneath. So like if you have, like, let's say you're into films and you have science fiction, a subgenre of science fiction would be, a subgenre of film would be film noir, would be a subgenre of crime and mystery or something like that. So that's what Myers-Briggs. So if you're ISFP, introverted sensing, feeler, perceiving, that is the broad category of your type, but then you break it down into your thinking style. That's the most important thing when it comes to typing someone is the cognitive functions. And because otherwise, if you just go by the letters, it's somewhat useful, but it's only half the picture. It's only half the puzzle. You have to use the other part. But Myers-Briggs does not conflict with Christianity. But I will say that I do get a little bit errors on the side of caution when people try to type Jesus. Like a lot of people say Jesus is an INFP. Okay, Jesus is the Son of God, so I think he's a little bit beyond a typing system. I don't think you can type the Son of God that way. I would never do that. Other characters in the Bible, yes. Okay, so Moses, I don't know, is he an ISTJ? I don't know. A lot of the characters in the Bible have been typed, but I think you're getting into a little, kind of territory that you don't really want to go into. It's sort of like the Bible is the Bible. And so, but that being said, no, Myers-Briggs does not conflict with our Christian faith. It's simply a typing system. It isn't New Age. It has nothing to do with the New Age movement. It's just been somehow hijacked by New Age people that use it and that like it because they think it's horoscopes. But the thing is, Myers-Briggs is not horoscopes, because you're not predicting the future. It's not divination. It's not witchcraft. So it's none of the things that we're taught that we can't do in the Bible. It's none of those things. Where you get into dangerous territory is when you use it as divination, like you're saying, well, this type is going to do that. And this is not true. This is not what Myers-Briggs is designed to do. It's just designed to see how people are in their everyday life. It's where no one is a walking, type. And so that's my opinion on it. I've done this before with my old vlog channel. I talked about Myers-Briggs from a Christian perspective and why some people are a little weary as Christians to say, well, can you use this? Can you use any form of psychology? Psychology is not divination either. Psychology, again, is a study of human behavior. And a lot of things in psychology that psychologists are discovering is that there is a definite spiritual element to a lot of these things, afflictions that people have, that can't be attributed to anything else. And so they're saying, well, when especially when they're dealing with psychopaths and those kinds of people, you say, well, that is an evil. A reprobate mind is really a psychopath. Which the Bible talks about psychopaths in the Bible as reprobates. And so I don't think Myers-Briggs conflicts with our Christian faith. But again, there's a caveat that you don't want to make Myers-Briggs into an idol or a religion, or some people, their whole life is based on typing people and what is my type. And so I just do it because it's something of interest to me. It's something that fascinates me because I know that I don't get along with some people. We clash. That is a personality clash. Now, there's also another discussion about personality versus character. Now, you may not be able to change your personality, but you can change your character. So, for example, Paul, who was on his way to Damascus to kill Christians, or, Christ followers, was actually, God, converted him to Jesus, and his character changed. Many people in the Bible, their character changed. And so there's so many things that in the Bible that talk about these personality, elements of personality. God has a definite personality, but I would not type him in this system because it's limited. Myers-Briggs is limited. There are many flaws in Myers-Briggs, and we all know this. We all know it, right? And so if you're going to say, well, you can't be a Christian and do Myers-Briggs, I don't agree with that. I think, of course you can. Of course you can. Christians can use mathematics. Christians can use many things that really God gave to us as tools to understand our world. But I would not rely on Myers-Briggs to govern your life. And I certainly don't. Just because I say I meet the ISFP, that's just one little thing that teaches me, okay, maybe I fit into this when it comes to how do I make decisions? How do I think? How do I interact with others? And it really does seem there's a lot of truth in it, but I'm not into the New Ageism or anything like that, and this is not witchcraft. So that's just my view and thoughts on Myers-Briggs from a Christian perspective. I know that there's a lot of people in the Myers-Briggs community that are not Christians, and I have no issue with that. But as a Christian, I do believe that there's a side of caution with anything, with any type of thing that is not necessarily in the Bible or, in the Word of God. You have to be careful that it doesn't take the place of the Word of God. So thank you all for watching. I hope this helps you if you're a Christian watching about Myers-Briggs. Don't feel that you can't indulge or engage in this, but just be careful. Be careful with anything. But stay away from astrology. Stay away from divination, witchcraft. Those things, of course, are not of God, and definitely those are sinful things. Thank you all for watching. Go to my website at meetskeletonsplace.com. And remember, folks, say a prayer for someone special today. Bye.